right, so what are we? We're day four, thank you. And we're hitting legs. Today I have my very good friend here, Nick, got halted. Nick Holt with me, hitting legs. I like training with Nick because he doesn't fuck around either and he pushes it. So if you can push each other and you use each other as a bit of accountability, because you don't want to look weak in front of the other person, it really, really does help. And especially when you're training a larger muscle group like legs. And he's pretty strong on legs, you know, he's got good leg development. So of course, if you can train with somebody who's kind of strong in that area, it helps to your advantage. So we started off with squats. I don't usually squat much. But on the weekend I did some rest pause squats. No, it was on Friday night I did some rest pause squats. So I thought, fuck it, let's start it again with some rest pause, just at a lighter weight where you're hitting around 15-20 reps. You know, just to really warm up the knees a little bit, get the blood flowing, get your head into it. But now my lower back is feeling it because I did train back pretty bloody hard on Sunday night, so I can feel it now, to be honest with you. So I thought, you know what, I was going to go on to another squat movement, which was going to be like the hack squat machine here, but I thought, let me take some pressure off my back first and go into a leg press. So 45-degree leg press is what we're going to be hitting now, probably around a 20 rep mark, I'd say. Right, so far this morning's workout, or this afternoon's workout, has all been just compound movements. So far we started with squats, leg press, and then onto this squat machine here to try to emulate hack squats, because there's no hack squat in here. And so far that exercise felt really comfortable for me. I didn't get, unlike you, I didn't get a lower back pump on that. My knees felt good. So if I go onto an exercise with a set amount of sets, and it feels good, sometimes I'll do an extra 1 to 3 sets because it just feels right and it just feels good. So it's a bit of instinctive adaptation.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that felt the best with me is the leg press. As far as quads, just maxing them out. This one, I liked it, but those last few reps, my back was taking over.
Lower back, yeah.
No matter what I tried to do, and it's my mind-muscle connection, of course, but
sometimes when you get
battle that.
Yeah, when you get a pump in your lower back at the beginning of the workout, sometimes it's a battle throughout the entire workout to get rid of it, I find.
Well, even when I do back, when I end with back extensions and I try to do cardio afterwards, I can't even fucking do cardio because it's the worst. So once you get that back pump, it's really hard, like you're saying, to get rid of it.
It's tough. And sometimes, you know, maybe, you know, even though I took pre-caged earlier, maybe, you know, it isn't a good idea to take a pre-workout before legs if you find that you just get a massive pump in your back, so it prevents you to, you know, force your legs to absolute failure. You know, I've done that before.
It's true.
Especially as you get like heavier, you put on a little bit more body fat, you put on a bit more muscle, you just start getting these crazy pumps. Especially if you're on a lot of glycogen, you know.
That's a good call. I think next leg workout I do with you, I'm going to try just not having a pre and see what happens.
Yeah.
Make sure I drink enough water, of course.
Yeah.
But
give it a shot. Like when I started doing squats then I thought, maybe I shouldn't have had the pre-workout because my lower back was getting pumped when we were doing the drop set in the end.
Did you get a pump here on that?
No, I was okay.
Just not as much.
I was alright on that.
Huh.
But after I'd done this, because I knew as soon as I did the squats, I thought I'm going to have to do something like this to get rid of the pump. So as soon as I'd done that, the pump had gone. Alright, do some leg extensions.
Alright. Alright, that is a wrap of this workout, which was legs. I'm going to let Nick
wrap this up and talk about this workout, because he was the special guest here, and hopefully for many more.
Yeah, so thanks for having me, first off. So Kris called me, I actually called him earlier today, and I said, hey, what are you working out today? Let's hit it. And he says, oh, I'm hitting leg day. And I thought, oh, that's shitty, but okay,
That's
I'll
convenient.
do it. Shitty meaning it's going to be difficult as hell. And he said, yeah, it won't be too bad. And I know what he means by that.
That's the problem, though, because I didn't think it was going to be too bad. But that is the problem. When you've got someone with you, you just tend to push it. And you know, halfway through, I was thinking, you know what? I'm probably pushing it a bit too much. You know, I'm trying to transition myself into this, and I don't want to get injured again, you know? So we're going to have to hold each other back, I think.
Yeah, but that's just not true, though. I think that you have a perfect mindset, to be honest with you, where, you know, Dorian, you were good friends with Dorian over the years, and he's always said, if you don't push your limits, you don't know what your limits are, right? And so you pushing your limits pushes my limits, and it makes both of us better. The mental tenacity.
I just want to go through injury at the moment, man. I just want to slip into this a little bit slower, I think.
Yeah, well, and I'm not worried as much about injury, because it's not like, I mean, you're lifting a little bit heavier than I am, but for the most part, I'm close to what you're getting. The idea is to push myself as far as I can without exhausting yourself physically as far as injuries are concerned. But anyway, we started with squats. I thought that was awesome. Kris warmed up with 135, as well did I, as well as I did, right? And 20 reps.
Yeah, I did about 20 reps. Yeah, we did some pause. Yeah. We did the pause squat. So we held it at the bottom there, you know, about parallel. Didn't want to go any deeper than that. Didn't want to work the glutes. Held it there for about a second before powering back up, making sure not locking out at the top. Just keep the muscles gauged the entire double time.
Yeah, so we had 135, and then we threw another plate on, 225 for about 15. I was able to hang with Kris for 15, and there was a little bit of a pause squat at the end, sit in the hole for about a split second, and then come back up. And then, as you notice if you're watching the video, we don't come up to full lockout. You come up to a little bit where your legs aren't flexing or extending fully, and that keeps a lot more tension on the muscle, a lot more than I'm used to when I squat, which is, you know, to come up, reset, and come back. And then Kris comes down, pauses in the hole, and comes up and comes right back down again. And watching it, you might think that it's cheating, and it's actually, in my opinion, 10 times more difficult.
It is a lot harder, and that's the reason why I do it, because I don't want to go heavy. I don't want to go exceptionally heavy where I'm putting so much stress on my body. I'm getting older now, you know, so I want to think all the time. Am I healing my future? Am I harming my future? Let's heal it. Let's make the exercise harder, you know, and that isn't by putting more plates on. That's just by keeping the muscles engaged.
Yeah. So we did that second set, it was 225 for about 15. Third set, we threw on, 285-ish, something like that. Yeah. And then I think Kris did 15. He hit a drop set of 225 for about 5 or 6 reps.
Yeah, the lower back started getting really too pumped then, so that was it, racked it enough. So that's why the next movement we went on to was a leg press, because I thought, you know what, I'm not going to go on to another standing movement, I'm not going to go on to a hack squat or anything like that. Let's go into a leg press, try to get rid of the pump in the lower back, and then move on to the next exercise. So we did like 3 straight sets, I think, didn't we, with leg press? Anywhere between like 15, 20 reps.
Yeah, and leg press was probably, as far as the quads are concerned, my favorite movement of today. I think you like the hack squat, which we'll discuss next, but the leg press, when we were doing it that way, I had such a huge pump in my back from the squats. When I went to the leg press, I felt a lot more isolation in my vastus medialis, vastus lateralis, and all that stuff. So that teardrop was, I could feel it more. And then in 3 sets, 15, 20 reps-ish, like you said, and then we went on to the hack squat. And that's when you really felt it, right?
I felt more comfortable because I felt like I was going lighter on that exercise, where I could focus a lot more on the muscle. With the leg press, in hindsight, I went too heavy on it, because even though we were knocking out about 20 repetitions, because I'm still transitioning into going heavier, I am putting too much strain onto my joints at this moment. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's not hurting me right now, but in 20, 25 years time, maybe it will do. So I need to transition to this a little bit slower. So leg press was probably a bit too heavy. I should have gone a little bit lighter, maybe done 25, 30 repetitions. But the leg press, or that hack squat, whatever you want to call it, that felt more comfortable, because I felt we were going a little bit lighter. There was a little bit more stress on the lower back maybe, but there wasn't as much stress on the joints, and I just felt I was getting a real good pump and squeeze and separation put within the quads there without so much put onto my joints.
Yeah. I feel as if we wouldn't have hit squats first, and if we would have hit the V squats, the hack squat, whatever you want to call them, after, I would have felt less of a pump in my back, and I probably could have felt it more in my quads.
Yeah, true.
I still think that I felt it in my quads like crazy, but it just, that when you get a pump in your back like I'm talking about, all you can really focus on in your head is that getting rid of that pump. And so even though I was feeling in my quads, my back was, my mind was saying, shit, my back is feeling it, right? And so it's much harder to concentrate on your quads. However, we kept on pushing through, and I mean, if you saw me a few times, I just laid down a few times, and it's not because I was exhausted, which I was, but it was more so because of the pump in my back.
Yeah,
and I'm just trying to give my back a rest where it's like, it stops, tensioning up, and like you said, once you get a pump in your back, it's really hard to get rid of.
Well, you think about it, like, and it's times like that when pre-caged can be too strong, because like, pre-caged is designed to give you a pump, and then you want to keep the pump, so you're drinking your in-caged. But the thing is, we're trying to get rid of the pump in that case, so in hindsight, maybe it's better probably not to take the pre-workout before doing legs if you're going to get a pump in your lower back,
Or stay tuned. What we say is we're going to try it next leg day. Next leg day I hate with you. I won't take pre-cage just to see if it's any different, and we might let's try hitting them movement squats first and just see if it's any different.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it will be, because I noticed such a big difference when I take a pre-workout like pre-cage, for example. It's tough for me to say, you know what, I'm just not going to take it today, because then your performance and mental tenacity suffers a little bit too. And it's probably a placebo a little bit, because you have that little bit of a help.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth noting that we're going to try it next time and just see what the difference is.
Try it, yeah. It's no harm in trying, And then once we did those, we went on to the isolation exercises. So we started off with standing hamstring curls. In all honesty, that was very uncomfortable for me on my left leg, because partly because I got the hamstring tear there, but it's the left knee that gave me hassle when I was preparing for my Ironman events last year. So I could feel a little bit of strain on my left knee on the standing hamstring curl. So didn't feel comfortable on that. I felt comfortable when we moved from that onto the lying hamstring curl. That felt really good. So I did an extra 1 or 2 sets there.
One thing that's great about training with Kris, though, is like it just, even though his hamstring was, it's been fucked up in the past, he still pushed through every single rep that he did on the right leg. He just knew that he had to go down 20 pounds. So he started with 100, did a couple drop sets. He started with 80 and did a couple drop sets. So no matter what he was capable of doing, he did the same amount of volume, if that makes sense. And so that's really hard if you're watching this, to put yourself in that position and to understand, like, I can do this. I just can't do as much weight. I can push myself as far as I'm capable of pushing myself, but I'm just not going to use as much weight. So it's training hard, but it's also training smart. And that's what I respect you for, is because you're really good at knowing what your limits are. You still push them, but you do it safely.
Yeah, because I've been really stupid to get so injured in the past. So then you like hit over the head to be smarter. So yeah, you just navigate your way through, isn't it? And you just kind of leave your ego at the door. Don't think about the weights. I always say, forget about the reps, make the reps count. So if the reps mean counting lighter weight with more resistance through intensity, then so be it, Yeah. Like I've said so many times before, your muscles have no idea what number is written on that stack. It knows the intensity that you're about to put it through.
Yeah. So in hamstring, what do we do? We did 2 sets of 20, right?
Yeah.
Just to reiterate. And then we did the third set, which is a drop set. So like Kris did, 100. And then we went, what did you do, 10 reps, 15 reps?
Yeah, we did 2 drop sets.
Okay. And then you did 80, and then you did 60.
80 and then 60, gotcha. Yeah. And on the other side, I did 80, 60, 40 on the weak side. And then we went on to line hamstring curls, and we just did 4 straight sets of 20 there.
Yeah. That's what I felt the most on as far as hamstrings are concerned.
Felt much
I
better.
really like that. And then tell them what you were telling me, your little tip there, because that really helped me.
Just pulling yourself up further over the front of the hamstring curl. So there's a curve on this one, and I find if I have my knees on the curve as opposed to my thighs on the curve, I'm able to get a better stretch and much better contraction. I don't go all the way up because the hamstrings disengage at the top, but I just feel a real good curve of tension from top to bottom on that, and I just get so much more of an isolation and pump, because you don't bring your glutes into it, you don't bring your lower, your glutes off as much, so you don't really incorporate your lower back, and it's just isolates your hamstrings that much more. I just like that.
Time under tension was phenomenal on that exercise, especially with that tip, so just that strength curve and keeping your muscles just tense the entire way. It's so much more difficult, although if it's deceiving as well. If you look at it, you think that it looks a little bit easier, but it's not the case, trust me.
We only had 60 pounds on there.
Yeah.
Didn't have much on there at all. I went anybody who would do the stack.
Yeah, I went down to 40, you know what I mean? And it's like, do I give a shit what people think I left, or do I give a shit about what I look like I left?
Exactly.
And so that's what you say, right?
Exactly. So, Jesse Noss will probably argue that one, though.
Yeah, well, he'd win.
Yeah.
He's beast mode.
So that's it. Recage done. I'm going to go home and eat my carbs now.
Awesome.
I need some food and anything with a face.
Thanks for letting me join you, man.
All right, thank you.